Well, I suppose the biggest conversation over the last few months is who will replace David Warner. Sydney's going to be swan song. That leaves 2 tests for whether it be Bancroft, whether it be Harris, whether it be Renshaw, whether it be Cam Green coming back and someone else goes up. Steam, you're very much of the opinion that they should go with the specialist opener.
Yep.
And
It's just because it's his brother.
No, he's my third choice. I don't know. Yeah, specialist over. I think it's such a unique thing in Test cricket. You know, they're really there to take the shine off the ball. You want guys who can stay in and protect the middle order. You don't want and red ball, white ball. It's very different how long those 2 balls stay swinging and seaming. And I think it's one of those things. If you haven't got experience doing it, say you move Travie Head up, say you move Mitch Marsh up, and they struggle. I feel like you've tried to patch your boat, and you've got 2 holes. Now you've got a struggling opener, and you've got to figure out what are you going to do about the middle order spot. Where if you've got your Usman, Marnus, Smudger, Travie, and either Green or Marsh. Just lock and load, and then
set.
You can try your specialist opener, and we've been debating Renshaw, Bancroft, Harris. You potentially have options. Say you throw one of those 3 guys in there at opener, doesn't work. Well, then what do you do? Well, you've got 2 other guys where I feel if you tinker with something that, as we said, if it isn't broke, don't tinker with it. So. I think personally, I think Bancroft has put the runs on the board in the Shield in the last 2 years. He'd be first choice, but I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be surprised if they go Renshaw. Given he's 4 years younger, so Renshaw's 27, Bancroft's 31, and you say to Bancroft, when Uzi moves on, you're the next man up, or if Renshaw fails, it's to you. I wouldn't be mad at that because if you go Renshaw, we want 8 years out of you compared to maybe 3 to 4 out of Bancroft. Yeah.
Well, maybe vice versa works in that instance where you go, well, Bancroft, you've got the runs on the board in the Shield over this season and the last season. And
I think, because Renshaw, he went on the tour to India as that kind of spare bat, so he had less opportunity in the Shield. You can say that
he was there in England
in the PM, in the PM's 11. When those 3 guys played in the top 3, Renshaw was the one who got the ton. So if you can just say, you guys, going into the game, you knew who performed best in this game was going to get it. Like you can make that argument that he performed in that setting.
Yeah, but then you got to also say then with Harris, with the other tour game against Pakistan just a day ago, got his ton. So against that same top flight competition versus Shield competition.
I feel like Harris has shown that he's kind of in that level between Shield and Test match.
Yeah.
Like he's a very good Shield player, but I think he's been found out at Test match.
I feel like we've talked about this. Those 3 just feel like they're kind of in that no man's land. They just really haven't. I think like absolute knocking down the door. You need to pick me, kind of like what Wade and Usman did to kind of get back in the team. Like they were just so dominant. It's like you have to pick them. Yeah, I just feel like they're pretty. Like I think all of them have got cases. We're making their cases for them, but I just think they're missing that one thing that puts them over. To say, hey, you have to be picked. You have to be in this squad. So. I think part of me thinks after seeing what Head did in India, kind of filling in for Warner as a I think that's probably the most logical way to probably go.
Because your argument is, I hear all 3 of your cases, but I don't listen to them. I don't care for them at all. You've got a different opinion, right?
I was just because we're talking about there's only a finite amount of spots. We already have a wealth of riches with say Marsh and Cam Green kind of floating in there. And if you want to get both of them in your squad, then maybe Head has to do the thing and have to move up. And he's had some success there. He's, like you say, maybe not a specialist opener, but he hasn't done terribly up there. Compared to these guys, all 3 of these guys have had chances opening for Australia and really haven't locked down their spots. One got booted out, but...
the redemption, the storyline's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, the storyline is...
Bancroft for Warner. But
yeah, it's...
I mean... Cam Green was the 12th man over in the West, and maybe that's because it's over in the West, and you free up those other guys to keep playing cricket, keep trying to score runs. Well, I mean, Harris playing tour matches and that kind of stuff. Maybe you just say you guys need to keep making your case, and Green is going to be there or thereabouts in the Australia squad regardless.
He's so young, it's crazy.
And because the game's in Perth, Cam, you're probably going to be in Perth anyway. You can be 12th man kind of thing. So, it's the interesting point. Probably
the most of the summer.
And I think the argument's probably been put to bed that you guys talked about last week with Mitch Johnson and the way that he went about making his argument. I think Warner scoring runs in the last Test match he's got himself through to Sydney and to hang up his boots there. But I was of the opinion you could have done this before this Test series because you also go, is Australia obviously Warner played well, but do they win that match with or without him?
It didn't matter.
And so you go,
one of us could have been open in the batting.
Where you go, could you roll out Bancroft on his home deck, where he's played plenty of cricket, he's been comfortable? Do you get him into the Test side to try and get comfortable at Test level, build his confidence at Test level against not India, against not England, so that he's got runs on the board, got confidence, so that when you're rolling around against these higher order competition, you do have a much more settled lineup.
Which is kind of, I think, where this West Indies game is going to come in and fit in. Because as a 2-game series, I think they might not going to make wholesale changes. Won't be Australia A, as I say, but I feel like they'll rest a bunch of bowlers. I think Nathan Lyon will probably be the pick of the spinners, but it wouldn't surprise me if Morris and Boland go into that team in the
Cummins has to play, surely.
I'd come as a captain, So, but I think maybe Stark and Hazelwood maybe get a rest. Maybe Marsh gets a rest, and you give Cam Green some opportunities for some game time, and then you make a decision what you want to do with your batting lineup. I think Marnus Smith will be fine there, and Usman will be fine there. It's whether do they move head up and play another guy in the middle, or do they leave head and then give who they think is a potential chance.
Kawaja didn't go to India for the Test tour, so you play him. He doesn't need to be rested at all.
No, I'm not. I think those.
Did I say Test tour? The World Cup.
The World Cup.
So I think those 2, 3, 4 will probably be fine. It's whether you try headed one, maybe give Harris game 1, and then game 2 you try Bancroft. Like you pick who you think is your heir apparent and you give them some go. So I think there'll be a lot of auditioning for those 2 games.
It's a strange summer, that's for sure. We're probably less enthusiastic about Boxing Day and more interested in a selection thing in a Test match that we should win handedly.
Quality of competition, I think, is down a little bit.